provide some clarity about that 6.7 billion pesos reported by the AMLAC sa House Justice Committee. Is it true that the lawyer of Attorney Manasseh Carpio was saying that there was apparently a system glitch doon sa bangko na imbis na 2 million ay 2 billion yung nailagay?
Well, again, you have to clarify that, no? That was in the AMLAC report, sure. But I think as far as the AMLAC was concerned, they just noted it. So, kumbaga, when they submitted the total transactions, it did not include that correction as yet. So, it is still 6.7 billion as far as that report was concerned. But even assuming, sige na, we can grant it na the 2 billion of Attorney Carpio became 2 million as a result of a system glitch. It is still 4 billion. Hindi ba? And again, that will still be judged against the 88.5 million SALN in 2024 of the Vice President. Talking about the scale of financial transactions of the Duterte Carpio couple.
So even if there was, for the sake of argument, there was a mistake in encoding, instead of 2M ay nailagay 2B, basically you're saying the 6.7 still amounts to about 4.7 billion pesos.
Tama po yun. Malaki pa rin ho yun. No? So, kumbaga, it is still not commensurate to the financial profile of two lawyers, public servant, and a couple with losing businesses as far as their financial statements are concerned. No?
Right.
And yun nga, and sa totoo lang, we have to look deeper into the glitch itself kasi it wasn't just like one transaction. It was these were transactions over the course of, I think, a year and maraming beses ho eh. So, ibig sabihin, are we saying that the glitch happened over the course of several months? Hindi ba? So,
and there should be
that a cause for concern as well?
And there should be a clarification also from the AMLAC regarding that. Congressman, I remember that with regard to the SALN, ito nga po yung binabangga dito sa AMLAC report. And you said, sige, for the sake of argument, kahit na yung 2 billion ay dapat 2M lang, meron pa ring 4.7. I recall, during one of the last hearings, I think pagkatapos na po ninyong after voting rather sa probable cause, you made a manifestation to ask the Civil Service Commission, was it, to be able to give light into how SALNs are supposed to be submitted, whether or not the cash on hand or cash in bank can be put or placed doon po sa various. I remember you were saying that, and then Congresswoman Jinky Luistro was basically saying nakapagboto na tayo regarding that. But do you think that's still very important to actually find out and shed light on?
No, ang nangyari po doon ay the CSC is being requested to file a position paper on the matter para explain mo nila kung tama nga ho ba yung pagkakasulat ng ganun pong SALN. Kasi I think kahit dun sa mga accounting measures, no, ang pinapakita ho talaga dun dapat yung cash on hand, bank deposits, hindi ho talaga dapat yun kinokommingle dun sa others. No? More particularly dahil sa SALN law, very specific ho talaga yung pagkakabanggit dun sa cash in hand tsaka cash in bank. No? So, we will wait no, kung magsasabit po yung CSC yung kanila pong position paper on the matter. But I think that was approved, and I think there is a pending request from them.
Yeah, okay. So, I guess at some point you might be able to raise this so that there could be some clarification on this particular issue. Another thing that I was thinking about, Congressman, was that during the committee report, which was done Monday ata, the chairperson had submitted, supposed to be the committee report, and furnished everyone a copy. And that was the time that Congressman Shell Diokno, Congresswoman Laila De Lima had manifestations, and I think also Congressman Tino na merong mga palitan na certain portions ni Huba. That's why there were times that nagkaroon po ng recess, to which the chair agreed. Okay, my question there is, could that pose a problem in the end? Do you see that as a possible flaw or problem that the defense can use for any violation of any sort, sir?
Tingin ko hindi naman kasi yan naman po yung kagandahan ng deliberative process. No? So, lagi hong may first draft and during the committee proceedings, that is the time when members can actually introduce amendments and revisions to the articles of impeachment, the resolution, and the committee report. So, tingin ko naman wala hong magiging problema doon. For as long as, syempre mabibigyan po ng kopya lahat ng mga miyembro at yung po nga pangalang Pangulo, consistent with the requirements of the Supreme Court.
The committee report, its attached resolution setting forth the articles of impeachment. Okay. All members were given supposed to be a copy today, no, sir?
Yes, I think, I haven't seen lang my copy, but today dapat may kopya na po yung mga miyembro.
And then, yung kopya po kay Vice President, ngayon din ho ba yun, together with the congressman? No, you have to vote on this first, tama ho ba? And then, tsaka po bibigyan ng kopya ang defense team?
From what I understand, dapat may kopya na po ang pangalong Pangulo.
Alright.
As soon as this particular committee report and all the other attachments, may padala po agad sa pangalong Pangulo.
Congressman, kung kayo po ay kukunin na miyembro ng House Prosecution Team in the event that you get the 1/3 vote and it is forwarded to the Senate, is this something that you would gladly do?
Gladly is a bit of not something I would describe it. I think it's a duty that you have to undertake kasi you get elected to plenary, no? So if we get elected, then it is something that we will undertake as part of our work in Congress.
Would you like to be part of it, though?
I think it's something that we can do because well, I'm a lawyer, so I think it's something that I can actually undertake.
I was actually listening to a previous interview, I think from Congresswoman Luistro. Yung panel ho ba can consist of lawyers and non-lawyers? How are you seeing that?
I think in previous experiences, lagi pong mga abogado, yung pong panel of 11. No? So, tingin ko naman mapupuno po yung 11 ng mga abogado. So, we don't have to change the previous experience that we had in previous impeachments.
Who are the private prosecutors you think that can help the team of the congressman? Sino ang inyong nakikitang good fit?
Well, wala pa naman yung mga pinal. No? I think bagong pag-usapan yung private prosecutors, kailangan muna mapinal yung public prosecutors to an election plenary. Pero I think may mga kausap naman pong mga abogado na gustong tumulong. I think maraming mga gustong tumulong ng mga private lawyers, law firms, no? Dito po sa impeachment undertaking.
Can you tell us any of them?
Wala pang pinal. I think as soon as we are ready, their names naman po will be stated publicly.
Okay. Congressman, on another topic, I'd like to get your comment on the arrest of PGMN founder Franco Mabanta that made headlines today, sir.
Well, I think we will leave it to the NBI to prosecute the case. Tingin ko naman si Mr. Mabanta will have his lawyers to respond to the matter. But I think we need to make a statement relating to free speech as against extortion activities. I think what had happened last night is not because press freedom is being stifled, but because there is an allegation of extortion that had been caught red-handed. No? So we will leave it to him to make that defense on the matter.
Any other reaction, I guess, just personally when you found out about this? Because after all, this supposedly involves the former speaker, Martin Romualdez, an alleged expose against the former speaker.
Well, my only reaction to the matter is if there was really a documentary supposedly against former Speaker Romualdez, that should have been released without any negotiations, without any discussions. Kasi if we are in the business of truth-seeking and accountability, that should have happened as soon as the final edit was done. Hindi ba? So dapat wala akong mga talk about negotiations relating to this particular documentary.
Was Congressman Martin Romualdez in plenary today?
I didn't get to check, but we'll have to check actually. I haven't seen him.
Oh, you haven't seen him. All right. Well, anyway, just on a related, well, not really related, but you're also calling out PGMN for what you were saying could have been, well, could be fake news or disinformation regarding po doon sa Meralco bill, sir. Would you like to talk about that?
Well, tama po yun kasi, well, we filed the resolution last Monday on the matter kasi, syempre, wala naman tayong debate na dapat government should, ensure that rising electricity costs are contained, no? Pero mahirap po to unleash content kasi na hindi ko nakabate sa katotohanan. And ang problema ko kasi PGMN platform ay particular content creator na nagpakita po ng magkaibang Meralco bills supposedly to rage bait viewers, no? Pero ang pinakita niya from 700 pesos to 7,000 pesos, no? So, nakita niyo eventually na magkakaibang mga ano po ito?
Customer account numbers.
Account numbers.
Oo, yung CAN.
So ibig sabihin, hindi yung talaga pwedeng based on truth eh. Yung pong ganitong mga pahayag.
So you filed a resolution regarding this, sir? Sorry, I missed that.
Tama po. Last Monday, there was a resolution looking into disinformation activities ng PGMN.
I see. All right. Okay. Just on a last note, sorry, sir. What is happening in the House of Representatives between, I guess, the Rectos and Congressman Leandro Leviste, sir?
They're fighting, is what I know. Siyempre, meron pong batuhan ng akusasyon. So, we will leave it to them to prosecute it. I think it's a Batangas level issue. But the executive secretary has also spoken about it, and he has denied everything that Congressman Leviste had said.
But hindi ho ba si Congressman Leviste wants some sort of investigation into this by the House?
I have to see if there's a resolution filed on the exact matter that he is talking about.
All right. A couple of days ago, excuse me, you said 106 is all but certain, and that the Vice President will be impeached next week. I know that really the minimum that you need is 106. But what are the numbers that you are looking at right now?
Well, at the moment po, like what we had announced yesterday, the list that we have been seeing is around almost 200 already. Si Deputy Speaker Puno said that he is certain of 180. So that is the range that we are talking about. But I think what we would want to see on Monday would be votes of at least 215, equal to the impeachment vote in the first impeachment complaint.
Do you feel that you will be able to reach that during voting?
Tingin ko po, sobra sa 215 po yung maabot po in plenary. Kasi kung from yesterday, 200 na po yung pinag-uusapan ho natin bilang, hindi na masyadong malayo yung 215 eh.
Okay.
Doon po sa binabanggit po nating numero.
Yeah. And then even the NUP's chairman, Congressman Puno, was saying that majority of their members are going to vote yes to the impeachment. But he also said, sir, that marami ding no kasi yun daw yung sinasabi ng kanilang constituents. What do you say to that?
Wala naman ng problema. Depende naman ho sa bawat miyembro ho, yung magiging batayan ng kanila pong pagboto. So, meron silang considerations relating to their constituencies, something that we respect, no? Pero syempre, the other members naman po will be voting based on the evidence that they had seen, no? So, ultimately, we leave it to each individual member to make that determination on whether to support or not support the impeachment.
Which is actually their right. But of course, napag-uusapan din po dito yung political survival, hindi ho ba? Again, it is an impeachment proceeding that is political in nature. And there will be people who will vote yes because they believe it, yes because they want to impeach the Vice President, no because they don't believe it, or also no because they want to survive politically. What do you say to those who really think about their political survival in either voting yes or no during the impeachment of the Vice President?
Well, we have no judgment on their decision kasi sila naman po yung makakapagpasya. Sa totoo lang, ano yung what is best for their political future. No? So, we leave it up to them. Sa totoo lang, sila po yung maging mapagpasya dyan, particularly for lawmakers in Mindanao. I think there is something that is something that they're really considering when going into the impeachment vote.
Would you rather your colleagues vote yes or vote no, rather than, of course, I know yes is going to be your vote, rather than them not showing up during the voting or abstaining?
Again, the decision is really on them. So marami silang pwedeng gawin. They can vote yes, like what you said, no, pwedeng they don't appear or they abstain. So ultimately, sila po yung mapagpasya. I don't want to influence their vote on how. We will lay down the evidence to them, and if they are convinced by it, and if there are other considerations, it is them who will make the final equation on their vote.
Do you feel it's a cop-out when they decide, let's say, not to show up or abstain?
Ultimately, it is their constituency who will judge them for it. Whichever action that they will take, whether it's a yes or a no, they abstain or they absent themselves during the proceedings, I think there will actually be some consequences to it. And malalaki naman ho yung mga miyembro ng Kongreso. I think they would know the exact result and consequences of whatever action that they will take.
Are there congressmen that are being threatened? Because Congressman Paulo Duterte was saying House members are being threatened budget allocations that could possibly be removed if they...
Well,
go ahead,
well,
sir.
I've heard that statement, and again, I still challenge him to provide information relating to that. Kasi as far as the Justice Committee is concerned, we are convinced by the evidence. I'm quite certain a lot of our members, a lot of our colleagues will be convinced exactly by the evidence alone and don't need coercion or don't need like additional support from the House leadership.
Even Senator Amy Marcos was saying that there are threats of FLR, ibig sabihin nun, hindi ilalabas yung pera, yung pondo para sa kani-kanilang mga distrito, FLR at meron din na daw ngayong OMB, ibig sabihin posibleng kasuhan sa ombudsman. What do you say to that, sir?
Alam po ninyo, sa totoo lang, all of these are extraneous to the impeachment vote. Hindi ba? Sa totoo lang naman, kung, for example, for the ombudsman cases, kung talaga naman may atraso ho yung mga kasamahan ho natin, irrespective of whatever vote that they will have, dapat kasuhan ho sila ng ombudsman, hindi ba? Kasi justice seeking naman ho tayo dito, at accountability seeking ho tayo dito. So that should not play a part in the equation of whatever vote will be by next week.
Whether you vote yes, whether you vote no, basically you're saying kung merong kang pananagutan, ay dapat panagutin ka talaga.
Talagang dapat itong gano'n. No? And pangalawa, yung pong sa mga FLRs na sinasabi, mga infrastructure projects ho na hindi ho natutuloy, tingin ko naman ho, wala na ho dapat kaso yun kasi tapos na yung budget eh. It's an executive implementation prerogative at this point. Hindi ho ba? Bakit makikialam pa yung mga kongresista dyan po sa mga bagay na yun? Kaya nga, sinasabi ko, all of these things that are being raised today, extraneous po yan to the vote itself. So, that should be dismissed as a distraction to the vote on
Meron
Monday.
din pong balita, Congressman Redon, na nagtatawag daw si Majority Leader Sandro Marcos. Meron na pong calls para magbilang. Do you see any, if it's true? Number one, is it true? Number two, do you see anything wrong with that if it's true?
Well, hindi pa ako tinatawagan ni Majority Leader Marcos. Hindi rin ako tinatawagan po ng Minority Leader po namin. What I know is that meron po mga caucuses at the moment. No? So the House leadership is talking to the different parties, talking to the party list coalition, for example, explaining the impeachment proceedings to them. Pero from what I remember from the meeting, wala pong instance in which the leadership was basically coercing members to vote in whichever manner. No? So I think that needs to be stated for the record.
Do you think that the recent Pulse Asia survey showing the Vice President Sara Duterte still leading, if it was a one-on-one, Sara and Senator Raffy Tulfo tied at 46, in another survey was that kung dalawa po, VP Sara and Mayor Lenny, si VP Sara nasa 51, at si Mayor Lenny Robredo ay nasa 43. Do you think that's something that yung mga kapwa congressmen ninyo will take into account?
I think they are making a mental note of it, no? Pero again, alam po niyo, 2028 is such a faraway place to be in. You're still in 2026 today, yeah? You're not even midway to 2026, no? And you have 2027. Tingin ko po, that's a small mental note. But again, it will still be the overwhelming evidence that we had seen in the proceedings that will drive the vote on Monday. Mabigat po yung 6.7 billion. Hindi ho yun maliit na bagay in terms of scale as against the salary of the Vice President.